A McDonald's where you can get booze!
While traveling the world, odds are you'll find yourself at a McDonald's at least once during your travels. And if you do, you won't have to resort to ordering the same old meal you order from the McD's in your hometown. Instead, you can eat local with one of these 10 McDonald's foods you need to try while traveling the world.
I miss Shamrock Shakes.
Pineapple Oreo McFlurry.
My safety word is pineapples.
You really can't go wrong with a McFlurry. Since the dessert is so popular, it's no surprise that McDonald's has tried to expand their market by experimenting with new flavors. Colombia is home to one of the more out-there versions of the McFlurry, the Pineapple Oreo McFlurry. Now, Oreo McFlurries are well established as one of the most popular flavors McDonald's offers, right alongside M&M and Score. The choice to throw pineapple into the mix was, well, it was a bold move. On its own, a pineapple McFlurry would probably be a solid dessert. The fruit would pair nicely with the ice cream.
You want to get some ice cream?
But the combo of pineapple and Oreos seems like a bit much. While the pineapple Oreo McFlurry definitely seems a bit strange at first glance, reviews seem to be overwhelmingly positive. The frozen dessert has been making pretty major waves in Latin America lately, so don't pass up a chance to try this one out.
Give her a chance.
Shrimp Beef Burger.
This shrimp was lodged under one of your gums.
Surf and turf, anyone? Although this isn't quite your traditional steak and lobster meal, in a surprising twist, Korean McDonald's have decided to put out a burger that contains not only a beef patty, but a shrimp patty as well. It's definitely a good way to get your protein fix for the day, so bodybuilders, get in line. The addition of shrimp to the menu has been a pretty common trend at McDonald's worldwide, but the choice to mix it with beef is far less common. It's also mildly questionable. The burger's other ingredients are pretty normal. They include lettuce, onion, tomato, spicy onion sauce, and a corn wheat bun. The shrimp patty has a crispy exterior.
How's your shrimp, baby?
And McDonald's beef patties never disappoint. While the combination is odd, it may very well be worth trying. This is especially true because the unique food items Korea McDonald's comes up with tend to be amazing. Unfortunately, the shrimp beef burger was originally released for a limited time only, so getting your hands on it might be a bit trickier than originally anticipated.
I ordered that shrimp 2 hours ago.
Apricot Sundae.
Apricots.
This is another fresh take on a classic dessert. Don't be fooled by its appearance. This ice cream may look like just another caramel sundae, but it's actually topped with apricot sauce, along with tiny chunks of the fruit. It's probably safe to say that this food item won't be everybody's cup of tea. Apricots aren't necessarily the most beloved fruit out there.
In the case of apricot, it's a little bit more of a complicated journey.
And there are a lot of people who would probably recoil at the thought of this sundae. On the other hand, there are likely plenty of people out there who would jump at the chance to try it. When it comes to sundaes, there really isn't all that much variety. It's nice to see McDonald's thinking outside the box with this one. This dessert was first released in Turkey, and only for the summer months. Whether or not they decide to bring it back for subsequent summers probably depends on its initial reception, so fingers crossed that we'll be able to try it out one day.
If today was our last day.
Yeah.
Bacon, macaroni, and cheese toastie.
More mac and cheese?
This dish takes the trifecta of foods that are bad for your health but good for your heart and combines them into one glorious sandwich. It's essentially grilled cheese meets macaroni and cheese meets bacon. It's actually kind of reminiscent of a college student's kitchen. All that's really missing is some instant ramen. The macaroni and cheese is mixed with bacon bits and served between 2 slices of perfectly toasted bread.
You said go to bread.
A lot of macaroni recipes incorporate bacon, so the fact that they're paired in this food item makes sense. It was the idea to put it all in a sandwich that was the real risky play here. There's a good chance that the risk paid off because the finished product looks like the ultimate comfort food. Honestly, there's probably not a kid, or adult, let's be real, out there who wouldn't love it. The bacon, macaroni and cheese toastie is available only at McDonald's in China. It's such an Americanized dish that you might not want to try it when exploring a country with such delicious cultural foods, but it's understandable if you don't want to pass up the chance to try it since it can't be found anywhere else.
Anywhere. Nowhere.
Guacamole Burger.
With the guac!
This one is for all you millennials out there. While it's not as fancy as avocado toast, this McDonald's Mexico burger will still allow you to get in your daily avocado. Inside the Guacamole Burger, you will find 2 patties covered in melted cheese, lettuce, salsa, pico de gallo sauce, and, of course, a hearty serving of guac. It's really the menu item McDonald's has been missing all along. Because it has avocado in it and is therefore a high-class burger, it comes with a lime wedge on the side. For those of you who prefer your burger with a side of fries, this singular wedge might come as a bit of a letdown. It's presumably there for you to squeeze extra lime juice into your guac if you find it to be lacking in flavor, but no one's stopping you from using it as a chaser if you decide to pair your burgers with tequila. Since avocado isn't exactly cheap, this burger will cost slightly more than some of the other food items at McDonald's. However, if there's one thing millennials don't have trouble spending money on, it's avocado.
It's avocado.
No.
So that shouldn't be a problem. The Guacamole Burger actually got so popular that McDonald's locations outside of Mexico, particularly in the United States, began serving it as well. This is proof that, while most of the items on this list started out being sold in only one country, if they get popular enough, there's hope for them to one day be added to menus in McDonald's locations in other parts of the world.
Welcome to the real world.
Bacon roll.
So butter your bacon.
There's something to be said for keeping things simple, but the bacon roll takes it to the extreme. If you find yourself in a McDonald's in the United Kingdom and take notice of an item on the menu called the bacon roll, you may think that the name is lacking in description. What other ingredients does this breakfast sandwich contain? Is it bacon and eggs?
What a great way to start the day!
Bacon and a hash brown? Some cheese, perhaps? Alas, bacon roll was no misnomer. This sandwich is composed of several slices of bacon stacked inside of a roll. There's a bit of sauce thrown in there too, to keep things from getting too dry, but at its core, this is a bacon sandwich. There are probably several self-proclaimed carnivores out there who would devour this in an instant, but there are also many people out there who enjoy getting some nutrients with their meal. It's also kind of a strange meal to go order from a restaurant. You could easily whip this up at home in far less time than it would take you to get to your local McDonald's. Since it's so easy to DIY, you don't have to miss out on this one.
Well, I don't have money. I spent it all on bacon.
Bubblegum Squash McFlurry.
Sounds like my kind of gum.
Unlike the spinach and Parmesan nuggets, this food item doesn't actually contain any vegetables. So there's no butternut or spaghetti squash to be found in this drink. No, instead of being comparable to everyone's favorite gourd, the Bubblegum Squash McFlurry is actually far more reminiscent of the Starbucks Unicorn Frappuccino. In this variation of the McFlurry, the vanilla soft serve is mixed with a blue bubblegum flavored syrup and topped with soft pink and white mini marshmallows.
You didn't put my marshmallow in.
Every other country is jealous because it can only be purchased in Australia and New Zealand. Someone needs to start a petition to make the Bubblegum Squash McFlurry available internationally, because it really feels like we're missing out on something great here. With the various shades of pink, white, and blue, this McFlurry looks like the perfect springtime treat. The only downside to this dessert is that you would probably need to have a pretty strong sweet tooth in order to enjoy it. Between the syrup and the marshmallows, it's on a whole other level of sugary. If you prefer your desserts a little tart, or don't generally enjoy the experience of being able to actively feel cavities forming as you eat, this probably isn't one for you. But if you live for the sugar rush, it sounds like the Bubblegum Squash McFlurry would be right up your alley.
I'm done with this gum now.
Chicha Purple Temptation.
Your favorite color is purple.
This Peruvian dessert feels extremely out of place on the McDonald's menu. When you think of McDonald's desserts, it's usually ice cream, be it a McFlurry or a sundae, that comes to mind. The Chicha Purple Temptation is a little different because its main ingredient isn't cream, it's blue corn. While the grain gives the dessert a stunning purple hue, it's certainly a little unconventional. To be fair, corn is quite sweet, so you can see how it could be incorporated into a dessert. but that doesn't make it any less unexpected. This food item has quite an interesting history, as it was inspired by the traditional Peruvian drink Chicha morada. This drink was prepared by boiling blue corn with pineapple peels and then spicing it with cloves and cinnamon.
The roll of the cinnamon.
Once it's cooled, the drink is strained and sugar and chopped fruit are added. If you're ever in Peru, it could be worth making a special trip to McD's just to pick up a couple of these. Considering the fact that the drink it's based on is so popular, chances are that Chicha Purple Temptation will turn out to be pretty great, even if you're hesitant to try a dessert with corn in it.
Corn.
Yeah.
McLobster.
I thought lobster upset your stomach.
The McLobster is, at its core, a glorified lobster roll. The massive hot dog bun is stuffed with Atlantic lobster, shredded lettuce, and a special lobster sauce. It's available at McDonald's locations in Atlantic Canada and New England in the US, prime lobster territory, during the summer months, prime lobster season. It's an unusual item for McDonald's to be carrying. When you go to McD's, it's usually with the goal of getting your hands on some burgers and fries. Lobster is typically reserved for fancy nights out.
Getting seconds on lobster.
However, this sandwich was introduced in 1993 and has gained surprising popularity since then, so McDonald's must be doing something right. Unfortunately, in 2017, this food item, which was once going strong, hit a bit of a roadblock. That year, lobster prices skyrocketed, and it was no longer worth it for the fast food franchise to add it to their menu. Many people look forward to the annual return of the McLobster, so needless to say, this came as quite the disappointment. Sadly, since then, the McLobster has been an elusive meal. We can only hope that someday, preferably in the near future, McDonald's brings it back.
It's the lobster squad.
Spinach and Parmesan nuggets.
I know this looks desperate, but I got this can of spinach.
Spinach and Parmesan nuggets joins the ranks of the McLobster and the Chicha Purple Temptation in the category of sounds amazing, but what's it doing on the McDonald's menu? This twist on the classic chicken nugget doesn't actually contain any chicken or any meat at all. Beneath the delightfully crispy layer of breading, you'll find, as the name would imply, spinach and Parmesan cheese.
Cheese.
They call it a nugget, but it really has more in common with a deep-fried cheese stick, which isn't something to complain about. Taking your first bite can be a bit jarring, as the spinach has turned the cheese completely green. This food item wouldn't be out of place at a St. Patrick's Day party. If you can get past the green cheese, you're in for an incredibly savory experience. You really can't go wrong with breaded cheese, and the spinach adds a little extra flavor that makes these nuggets truly delicious. Plus, these nuggets might actually get your kids to eat spinach, which is a win in itself. This food item was sold at McDonald's locations in Italy as part of a limited-time promotional sale, although it still seems like too much of a delicacy for McDonald's to be serving. But hey, if it tastes good, who are we to question it?
I have a few questions to ask you. Would that be okay?
Treat yourself to more and tap that screen for our next great video. Checking us out for the first time? Then take a second to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.